Good morning and welcome back to the farmhouse. I'm Deanne from Hummingbird Acres, and this is our place to share with you guys our homesteading adventures, anything from building our homestead to gardening and from scratch cooking. Today we are in the kitchen and we are going to make some sourdough bread. This is something that I have perfected over, I guess, about the last year and a half, almost 2 years, and it's something that our family absolutely loves. So it is about 9 o'clock in the morning and I am going to start prepping our dough. I have found the greatest success with sourdough to be related to a couple of different things. The first thing is you need an active sourdough starter, and this looks different for different people. For us, it just means that the sourdough starter has rised and it's either at its peak or it's starting to go down. So we use a rubber band to tell where it starts. So as long as it is far enough above the rubber band, we're normally pretty good with using our starter. I have also found that if I measure all of the ingredients, that I have much better success. And bread flour is the key to making this recipe absolutely delicious. So I'm going to put my bowl on my scale. I'm gonna tar it so that it's 0. And I am doubling this because we have a large family and we go through a lot of bread. So I'm adding 100 grams of starter. And then to that, I am going to tar this again. And I am going to add 350 grams of water. I'm gonna stir this up so the sourdough kind of dissolves into the water. Now for the bread flour. I'm gonna add 500 grams of bread flour. Make sure you tar your scale so that you can stay on top of it. All right, now that I have 500 grams of flour, I'm gonna pull it off of the scale and I am going to mix it all together. You want it to be like a shaggy mess. Most of the time I start with a stiff spatula and then I will move to using my hands. Your goal is you just want all of the flour to be wet. Now that this is all combined in a shaggy mess, I'm going to cover it and let it sit for an hour, and then I will do some stretching and folding. Our dough is sat for about an hour, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a series of stretches and folds. So I'm gonna pick this up, stretch it up, fold it down. Turn my bowl, pick it, stretch, fold, stretch, fold. What I want it to do is to form a nice tight ball. So I'm just gonna keep doing that until it is in a ball. All right, I'm going to cover this back up and I'm going to let it sit for about 4 or 5 hours. I'm gonna move it into our family room because that is warmer than our kitchen, and then we will shape it and let it rise again. After the dough has fermented and rised, I am going to flour 2 baskets with the liners. I did get these off of Amazon. I will link them below for you, but you're gonna liberally flour, like lots of flour. You don't want your bread to stick. So once I have them floured, I'm going to flour my work surface as well. Then I'm going to dump my dough out. This is a double batch, so I'm going to use my bench scraper, which came with one of my baskets, to just, and this is a sticky dough today. I'm probably gonna have to put some more flour down, which is fine. Let's push that off to the side. Gonna flour this some more, and then I'm actually going to do this with my hands. Want to get it to form into a tight ball. And then do this. Bench scraper is not working for me today. So I'm just gonna pull it down, turn it, 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 and I have a nice tight ball. What I'm going to do is pick it up, put it in my basket. Then I'm going to do the other one. Maybe this one will cooperate a little more for me. Oh yeah. Sometimes that bench scraper works great for me, and other times I just struggle with it. So I always try so I don't have to get my hands too dirty and I don't have to touch the dough too much, but if it doesn't work out, my hands work just as good. So pretty. All right, I'm gonna put this one in that. I'm gonna cover these and let these sit for about an hour, and then I'll bake them. After about an hour, I transfer the dough to parchment paper. Do this by just flipping over the baton basket onto a piece of parchment paper, and then using a sharp knife to cut a pattern into the top. Cutting a pattern into the top allows steam to escape and makes it so that your bread doesn't crack. Once I have a pattern cut in, then I use the parchment paper to transfer the dough to a Dutch oven, and then I bake it in a preheated oven, 400 degrees, with the lid on for 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, I remove the lid and bake it for another 25 minutes with the lid off. And then when it's done, it will have an internal temperature of 200 degrees Fahrenheit and be nice and brown and crispy on top. Once I pull it out, I let it cool in the Dutch oven for a couple of minutes, and then I transfer it to a cooling rack. You want your bread to cool for a minimum of 2 hours before you cut into it. It will continue to cook as it's cooling, and then if you cut into the dough too early, your dough will be really gummy and sticky and just won't have the same flavor. So hold out as long as you can and wait that 2 hours before you cut into it. And that is how you make a beginner sourdough loaf of bread. If you found this video helpful, please make sure that you hit the like button. And if you want to see more of our homesteading adventures, gardening, from scratch cooking, and natural living, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified the next time I upload a new video. Thanks for visiting the farmhouse, and we'll talk to you guys soon.